What was one reality check that changed your life forever?
That I'm a man, you know, and nobody's coming to save me as a man. My name is Daniel, and I would like to be known as Daniel, I guess. I'm Daniel, that's my name, so yeah.
Can I call you Rose?
Why did I come to Canada? I think first of all, my family wanted me to be here, number one. Because for me, personally, it was a thing of, my job at the time was really, really, really stressing me out. My family wasn't happy with the situation I was in at the time, and they felt like I could definitely do better. Initially, I was looking at a system whereby, okay, yes, I could try to do the best I could there in Nigeria and do what I can. But realistically speaking, I looked at it like, even if I want to be able to make impact, since the opportunity is there, which is an opportunity many people look for, and it's an opportunity that was already presented to me, I decided to come here. The first career path I had, or future ambition, quote unquote, that I had when I was very, very young, was so stupid. It was hematology. That's a consultant of blood. That was actually in the medicine field, right? And that was just because I saw someone that I admired at the time doing it. Now that was when I was very, very young. But outside that, after that, and that was just obviously delusion because I didn't even like the medicine thing. And that was when I was in primary school. The moment I got to secondary school was mechanical engineering, and I never changed. And I never changed. Secondary school, university mechanical engineering, master's mechanical engineering. And I don't regret it. It's amazing. Is he around me now? The bee.
I didn't know you were scared of this.
Has the bee stung you before?
True.
No, has the bee stung you? I just want to know. No, they might be cute. I might have them as pets. Just have this bee nest, in your house. About 100 bees.
I would think that maybe you'd have more of interest in law or or just,
You're not the first. You're not the first. You. Mass communication. What the hell? No. First of all, the law thing you said is profound because just when I was much younger, I would always have arguments with my sister, my mom, whoever. I was just this person that never really backed down, and you know that you've been a victim of that. You've been a serious victim of that. So, but you always hear something you should be a lawyer, or you should be a lawyer. That kind of, you hear it a lot of times on my career, and I'm like, what? I'll be doing my law. Me? Come on, man. But regardless, how did I get so opinionated? And I understand also the contrast, considering the fact that my career path doesn't coincide with my personality. I actually like it though, because I like it when everyone expects that, this is I'm an engineer. It's like, I like it because I like my career a lot because it's not even something that many people know about in terms of the engineering field itself. So I think I got to a point whereby I knew that I speak a lot, and I felt like, okay, if you have to speak, then at least say something that makes sense, Don't say something that doesn't make sense if you say that you're someone that likes to talk, So I think of that, I started reading a lot, and I went from international politics. I started diving more into Nigerian politics, and I just became very, very vast. Many of the times I would speak, or I would say something, or I would have an idea, or have an opinion on something. It's people that will be like, oh, that's so smart, blah, 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 blah. And I really don't even think too much of it. But I guess it's just a skill that is God-given, whereby I can articulate my points well. So because of that, I just make sure I also, I have enough knowledge, so I'm not articulating rubbish.
Do you think you're controversial?
Do you think I'm controversial? I'm asking you, do you think I'm controversial? Okay, that's fine.
I'm not
A lot of people have said I'm controversial. I don't think I am, but I understand why people think I'm controversial. I think I speak with common sense. I think what I say is pretty basic. Realistic is what I'll say I am. I identify as a realist. Because of the climate we are in now, being realistic means being controversial. So saying the cold hard reality, regardless of how people feel, especially when we are in a world whereby people's feelings tend to matter over facts, then in terms of Daniel, you're so controversial, but I don't see anything I say that is particularly controversial. But a lot of people have tagged me as that, you inclusive. So, yeah.
What was one reality check that changed your life forever? Like, what was the hardest reality check that you had that you were like, oh shit, I don't think I'll ever be the same again?
That I'm a man, and nobody's coming to save me as a man. As a guy, you are born without value. You have to build yourself and build your value. Women typically are born with value, and that's why when they're young, obviously the fact that they can, carry life and carry the next generation already gives them infinite value. For a man, you have to build yourself to the point whereby you are responsible enough. And that's also the pride of a man. It's not a bad thing. It's actually a very, very good thing. That's the pride of a man. That's what makes you valuable. The fact that, you know that you are building yourself up. And it's not just for yourself, it's for people, it's for people that are coming after you, your family, your children, even your parents, the fact that you can take care of your people, that is what makes you a man. The fact that, that's the difference between a boy and a man. As a boy, you're still responsible for yourself. When somebody else, when you're responsible for yourself, you say you're a man already. But then you're at a different level when you now get to be responsible for somebody else, because that says a lot about your character. So it's very, very important to be able to understand that reality and not see it as a bad thing, but see it as a very, very good thing. Something that you should be honored to do. That's why for a man, I feel like no one is coming to save you. It's not even what I feel. Nobody's actually come to save you as a man. That's something they'll start telling you when you get to a certain age, like, you're a man, or, So, and it's not a matter of, toxic masculinity or anything, as modern people would like to say. It's just the cold hard reality. Nobody's coming to save you. I think another reality check I had was when I actually figured out that God is real, I was like, oh yeah, everything made sense. Like, okay, everything made perfect sense. Why the world is the way it is right now, why it looks like everything is crumbling right now, makes perfect sense.
Power or influence?
Influence. Influence is power. When you have influence, you have the minds of people. People listen to you, people do things. There's a reason why, at a certain level, there are certain people that what they do matters. Like the person or not, very dark man in Nigeria, right? He's someone that he started recording in his house, in his room. Not even an amazing looking room, but he started recording. People started listening to him. People started following him. And because of that, he has built influence. And because of that, people in power look for him. People in power, invite him to places, because of influence. With influence, I don't need to be in a position of power to actually make a change. The people in position of power will look for me and say, okay, you are influential, you seem to be able to speak to the people, so come to this position of power because of the influence that you have.
Be respected or be loved?
Be respected. Be respected.
Oh,
in general, yes, be respected. Be respected. Because respect is something that is earned. So your family loves you, not because you've actually done anything to deserve it. God loves you, not because you've done anything to deserve it. In fact, the whole idea of love is that you've not done anything to deserve it. When you've done something to deserve it, it's actually called respect. Yeah, actually. Yes, you don't work for love. If you have to work for love, it's not love. In general, I like to be respected. I like for people to be able to disagree with me, but still respect me.
Okay.
Because that shows that I'm making sense. If you just love me, that's what happens to people that, most people that are in the what's the word now? Fans of musicians, the Swifties and all these guys. They just love these people. And that's why they're like, this person can do no wrong in my eyes. And that's where delusion starts.
I have two options here. Either the first option is you have $1 million, go back to Nigeria. Or stay in Canada with 200K a year salary.
Stay in Canada forever?
Well, there's no forever in this question. It's just a thing of
okay. So I assume it's not
Nigeria next week
I would assume it's not. I would assume it's not forever. I'll stay in Canada.
Aw.
I'll stay in Canada. Why would I want to go? No, not because I love Canada so much, per se. Nigeria has gotten to a point whereby, realistically speaking, right, Nigeria has gotten to a point whereby, it's not really about the money. It's about the system, the stable system that you have. So what if I go to Nigeria with £1 billion, which is $1 million? What am I going to do? What? I'm going to be rich. It's nice, it's cute to do, but if I'm, but then I'm going to be in a very, very backward, thinking place. One thing I really, really pray for, hope that, most people, or if possible, everybody in Nigeria, though it's unrealistic, will be able to do is at least leave the country and see a different system for one. See a different system and then probably go back. And then they will see how much we've been damaged by the system over there. How much we've been damaged by the system over there, when it comes to how we even think about basic things, how we see basic things, how we see money, how we worship money, how we've taken money to be the major thing. The country is not totally safe. Healthcare is not as amazing, though healthcare here too is not as amazing. But the point is, this is a system that works. You cannot beat a system that works. My children need to be in a system that works. They need to be in a system that works. But however, the thing is, I would also want to, and this is just me being realistic, right? I would wish, though it's not part of your question, I would wish that, Nigeria is a place where it works. If Nigeria works, I would go in a heartbeat. Some influencer, I guess, you call himself an influencer, ran for a political position and then he lost. And then people were trolling him for it because apparently they don't like the fact they're wrong, which is not a problem, which is not a big deal. But the problem with that whole thing was that, there was a place where he was calling out his haters and stuff, and he said, I saw all of them and none of them have a G-Wagon. I'm like, that is how he happens to value people. Like, so if you have a G-Wagon, that's when I can take you seriously. See all these people here, bicycles. Now, these people probably have more things, but that's how simply they see life, in a simplistic fashion. The average Nigerian will not want to even drive a bicycle because it's going to be perceived. But they'll see me with bicycle, they'll think I don't have a car. When I can cruise in my car, why would I drive a bicycle? So somebody that was running for public office was actually, he already has the mindset that the only people I can take seriously, why would I take the advice of a poor man seriously? Yeah. And that's the point. And the person actually ran for office. And there are many other people like that are in public office or that want to run for public office and have these intentions. So only the people in Ikoyi deserve, and Banana Island deserve good roads, and Iko Atlantic. They're the ones that deserve good roads and good healthcare. That's luxury. So, pay for luxury. Like, even when it comes to the schooling system, it's mostly private. We finished from a private school. And I think I've told you before, that school is the best school in the country, statistically. Right? And it's a private school, it's owned by one man. The school is barely 20 years old. Go to any sane country, go to Ghana, and see if a private school can actually compete with the federal school there. No. But Nigeria is such a decaying society that the number one school in the country that beat a school of 75 years old, that is the first school in the country, federal school in the country, much bigger infrastructure and everything. The best that could come out was something owned by one man.
Any final word?
You're short. That's one. It has to be on, yeah. It has to be out there, you're short. We should all be able to think for ourselves. We should all be able to think for ourselves. Like, actually think for ourselves.
How does it feel like you're trolling?
Huh?
How does this feel like trolling?
Who am I trolling?
You said final words and you said yourself.
Yeah, because I feel like that's a major problem we have right now. People don't think for themselves. What I mean by that is that don't be a slave to classism. Because you have a better car than someone does not mean the person is less than you. Those things don't really matter. Don't think less of yourself. Don't feel like you deserve less because you don't have as much. Why are you still recording me? I thought we are done, right?
I think so.
What are you doing at this point?
I don't know. Just
You are
say something.
you are, what's the name? My hours are increasing, my time is increasing. That means my pay would increase. She's paying me for this, by the way. So, you know, Canada is an amazing country, sha. Yeah, well, it's an amazing country.
Yeah.
We need the immigration, so yeah, it's an amazing country. But you gotta say, oh, how far? You say you are not. We have to go to your country now. There, Oga, Oga, please. So I didn't mean it that way. She was the one that told me to. I was under duress.